Am I the butthole for kicking my wife's friend out of the house because she slated the food my wife made for her? Imagine the smell of a beautiful roast chicken drifting in through the doorway. The call of dinner is ready and the sight of a magnificent spread on the table. We had invited my wife's friend and kid over to spend the day and to join our family for our weekly roast Sunday dinner. As we all started tucking into what I personally thought was a delicious meal, my wife's friend said, "This hasn't been cooked well. If you weren't my friend, I would just get up, take my daughter, leave and eat somewhere else." I was furious. 1. The food was amazing. 2. How f***ing rude. Anyway, I put down my cutlery, stood up and instructed her to leave the house and never come back. Let's just say the school run has been super awkward ever since. Am I the butthole? Not the butthole. Love it. You stood up. You are in love with your wife and her food. Screw her. Original poster replies, "Thank you, that was my instinct. Well done. Unlike the meal. Kidding, of course. Sounds delicious." Original poster is going to kick you out of his comments section. Laughing out loud JK original poster. You did well to stand up for your wife. Ha. Awesome. As long as this wasn't cooked well didn't mean this chicken is undercooked, not the butthole. Even then, I would find a less aggressive way to mention it as no one wants salmonella. But I figure that would be kind of too important to leave out. Good for you sticking up for your wife. Yeah, expressions such as well done can be unclear in the context of cooking. And if it was undercooked, you politely mention you think your piece is a bit undercooked and could you put it in the microwave or cook it a little in a skillet or something. You don't get to be rude to your host. Not the butthole. And good start. I always like a good story with a nice hook at the beginning. And how effing dare her. We all knows that original poster's wife food is the bomb. Unsure if you're dismissively saying screw her. In relation to the rude woman, or telling this nice man to express his love to his wife by getting on down with her. Either way, I'm here for it. Why not both? Screw her squared. Screw them both in different ways. Original poster replies, "Technically I have done both." Perfect response. I can't imagine being so rude as a guest in someone's home. Too many people let rude people like this slide. I'm glad you didn't. Info. It seems like there's more to the story. This interaction makes no sense. Was it in any way undercooked, or oddly flavored, or anything that would lead her to make such a strange remark? I am leaning toward not the butthole, and I don't think you owe it to any kid to let your kid be friends with them, when the adult in the household treats you so horribly. Original poster replies, "My wife includes rice with a roast, controversial, because one of our children doesn't like potatoes." The first comment that hinted at trouble was when my wife's friend said, "I doubt my daughter will eat the rice because you haven't cooked it in garlic." Does anyone else cook plain rice with garlic? Perhaps that is a whole other debate? In my country it is very customary to do it. We sweat garlic and onions, and depending on the cook and the pickiness of the eaters, only garlic, add rice and salt, add hot water, cook as usual. Plain rice with no seasoning or only salt is considered odd if not part of an Asian meal. Nevertheless, the comment was completely unnecessary. BRB moving to your country. A. It is Brazil, food is awesome, the government is horrible, grimacing face. Brazilian rice is delicious. I always pig out when we go there, from Argentina. Can confirm that Brazilian food is amazing, the people are amazing, and it's absolutely beautiful. I've only visited once, but would love to go back. Original poster replies, "Well, I'm cooking tomorrow, so we'll give it a go, maybe it is amazing. Have an open mind." I always throw a crushed garlic clove or two into my rice cooker unless I'm making sushi rice. Gives it a gentle garlic flavor that's good with basically any meal. Much better than just plain rice and exactly as easy. I use chicken broth instead of water in my rice cooker for that reason. Now I'm starving, thanks Reddit. Similar concept, but I use a teaspoon of better than bouillon and whisk it into the cooking water. I think I'm making rice for dinner. Just rice, with garlic and chicken better than bouillon. Half Asian, raised in Europe, German partner. Whatever we cook, most of the time we have plain rice as side even with non-Asian meals. Yep. British here, plain rice is a super common side, to the extent that you can, or could, buy boil-in-the-bag rice that you literally just dunk in boiling water for a bit in its packaging. I think it's often favored where there's a sauce-based centerpiece that sits on or next to the rice and flavors it that way. Flavored rice is really common as a side here too, but I think older domestic cooks maybe tend more towards keeping it plain. I'm a Canadian with no Asian ancestry and plain rice is served with many of my meals. I don't consider it odd at all to serve chicken with rice. Some people can be weird snobs about food. I can see people might cook rice with something to give it more flavor, but it's incredibly rude of the friend to comment on a meal prepared by another person in their own home, when you are the guest. Yeah, isn't the general rule you say "oh wow, looks amazing, thanks," and then deliberately take what you know you will eat or proclaim you're really full if someone comments there's a bit left on your plate? You definitely sample the food first before making any remarks, silently in your head, and just say thank you then leave? I grew up eating wild rice cooked with garlic, onions, and in broth rather than water. When I ate at other friends' houses, and they served rice, it was plain and rather bland compared what I was used to. Did I complain? Heck no. I knew better. I ate it with a smile and a thank you. Your wife's friend has worse manners than an 8-year-old. I doubt my daughter will eat the rice because you haven't cooked it in garlic. Yo, F this lady. Not the butthole. Wow, confirming the vote I gave earlier. A great answer would have been that's a shame she won't have any, but we don't use garlic. Hopefully she will like the other dishes. I mean, a child who can only eat garlic-flavored dishes is not an everyday occurrence, depending of course on culture. Oh my god, this makes the comment so much worse. She had choices and still just had to say something. Yeah, strong, and then everyone stood up and applauded me vibes. Not the butthole. Talk about a choosing beggar, getting free, homemade food and criticizing it. I've met a handful of people who try to be Gordon Ramsay with my BD's meals. He works, cooks, and cleans sometimes too, and I just wish I had the balls to do what you did. Original poster replies. Thanks for sharing, nice to hear another person who has been in the same situation. It's so difficult to know what to do. Deep down, I think she probably didn't even mean to be horrible. Could just be hugely socially unaware, and have a really bad palate. I'm pretty sure it is universally acknowledged to be rude to insult someone's cooking when you're a guest at their table. I had a guest spit food into his hand and throw it away. It was shrimped, he said it was too fishy. My fiancé and I ate it. Tasted like regular, slightly overcooked, shrimp. It's been 10 years and I still remember how awkward it was. That's a tough one. I spat out seafood at a restaurant once because of that, as subtly as possible, but my husband was still like, WTF? Fishy tasting seafood is a recipe for food poisoning. Problem is I'd already eaten 3/4 of the meal and it had all been fine, so I didn't feel like I could send it back. Maybe it was just one bad mussel. Maybe your guest got one bad shrimp? Seafood-based food poisoning isn't something I'd personally risk just to be polite. I'm reminded of a time right before I got married. We'd already rented a house and I made chicken and dumplings that my then fiancé could heat up and eat since we weren't living together yet. I gave some to his buddy that was also living in the barracks, US military, and he posted on Facebook, tagging me, that he was eating chicken and dumplings made by bouncy_seal, but I don't see any vegetables in it. He then added a sad face emoji. I cried, and people that didn't even know me jumped on him for criticizing free, home-cooked food. He's changed a lot since then. Info: what does your wife think about this? Original poster replies. Good question. She was really upset at the time, but now thinks she has lost a friend. But I tell her, what kind of friend is that rude to your face? The amount of barbecues I've gone to where I've politely eaten incinerated sausages and pretended they were delicious. I hear you, but it sounds like you poured gasoline on the situation. Your reaction didn't make your wife feel better, It made her feel worse. And now there is an awkwardness that exists. I love that you defend your wife and honor her efforts. Perhaps it could have been handled better, though. Original poster replies. So that's why I posted in here. Because I can't tell if I did the right thing. Another consideration, what else might have happened if she had stayed? Part of me thinks that it could have got a lot of worse. I'm having a hard time making a judgment. It all depends on your wife since it was her cooking and her friend. If she is upset with how things went, then you are wrong. I also think about the daily drop-off/pickup. That's awkward on a good day. If her life is more difficult now, then you were wrong. If she is happy to have that friend gone, then you're the hero. Original poster replies. Haha, I agree about the school drop-off. Lingering around waiting for the gates to open. Gut feeling is that she was glad I stood up for her. She is annoyed about losing a friend, but I think it is more along the lines of she is annoyed that her friend turned out to be horrid. It sounds like you're guessing what your wife is feeling. Have you asked her? Gasp. And risk knowing how she feels? Honestly, this response pushes it into everyone sucks here territory for me. Why are you asking a random bunch of strangers what they think before you even ask what your wife thinks? Original poster's comments here only reaffirm that this is everyone sucks here territory. I was surprised to see so many automatic not the butthole judgments, and though the friend is 100% a butthole here, it seems like nobody was being objective of original poster. The fact that it's not his own friend but rather his wife's friend means that only in exceptional circumstances should he need to go nuclear on behalf of his wife. And the fact that this is over food, and it's a situation that it sounds like he's dug his wife a huge hole and rather than one for himself, means he was just up in his own head thinking he's some white knight and ignorantly missing the practical and realistic consequences of his actions. Why are you laughing at your wife being uncomfortable about a situation you caused? You could have held your tongue and encouraged your wife to tactfully distance herself later. You should be doing school drop-off. And you'd best quit assuming your wife's feelings on this. No more, I think. You should be writing, she said. There's a lot of gut feeling and I think, and not a lot of I actually communicated with my wife and openly listened to and accepted her feelings on this situation that directly has to do with her and her life. Which really makes it an EHS. Sure, it's dope that you're quick to defend, but what if your wife wanted to handle this situation with her friend, who y'all still have to interact with regularly, differently? What if she's not happy that you unilaterally banned her friend from the home you both share? That matters a lot. Edit. Fixing some half-asleep mistakes. The friend could apologize. Or remain friends with your wife since you are the one she's upset with. Not the butthole. Yup, this is right. It does not seem that the friend tried to apologize or at least acknowledge her fault here. If the wife just lost a friend, well, I think original poster just protected her from having a friend like that and could potentially just saved her from future toxicity. I also don't know this, but the friend seems to be a little salty to the wife from some other reasons I don't know, or maybe she just didn't know simple respect. Not the butthole. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. You can say that's rude, don't insult my wife, but to jump right to never come back seems excessive, and as it's his wife's friend, not as much as call. Right? I just read the post laughing out loud. It's pretty dramatic to kick someone out in the middle of a meal to begin with, so combined with never come sounded like a huge overreaction to me. Seems a tad overdramatic to me. A normal reaction might be, "Been you crazy? This is incredible, but from what I'm getting you reacted with 'How dare you, villain. Remove yourself from my house immediately.'" Original poster replies. Perhaps I should have called her villain. Please leave my stronghold, you terrible villain, but definitely didn't shout if you were suggesting that in the caps. I feel like there are certain rules in life I've never seen crossed. Scrutinizing a meal that has been provided for free is absolutely insane to me. It shows the highest level of disregard, disrespect, entitlement, and ungratefulness. If someone disrespected my spouse that way, yelling would have been the calm part. So she said she was going to do something, then you helped her do it. Not the butthole. I hope that your dinner was awesome, and it sounds like it was. Rice with a roast is fine. And plain rice is fine. My rice machine celebrates your wife's plain rice. Original poster replies. Just sent my wife a screenshot of your message. She says she loves you. I am married to a Cajun. Garlic goes in pretty much everything, and we don't put garlic in the rice cooker when we are making rice. I mean, I might try it now because it could be yummy, but I had never heard of it. Original poster replies. This thread definitely needs to be copied over to a food discovery thread as well. Everyone sucks here. It's great that you stood up for your wife, but unilaterally banning your wife's friend from the house isn't good. This is the sort of situation where you look to the aggrieved party for how they want to handle it, and support them in it. And then everyone clapped. Thank you, laughing out loud. Exactly, smiley face. Info precious little to go on here. You did not say what she did tea like about the food? Was it not cooked through? That's a solid safety concern. Original poster replies. The food was cooked really well, in terms of safety-wise. My wife and I both cook during the week, but she does the roast because she is awesome at it. Oh, we do peas in the microwave, which really seemed to piss my wife's friend off. Original poster replies. Her language was more abrupt. It was so strange. Never been in that situation before. There was zero tact. No thoughts about how her comments would be perceived. Not the butthole. It doesn't even seem like this woman has known your wife for very long, and this is the first time your wife has ever cooked for her. She's definitely rude, and I think you did the right, provide that you did it calmly as you wrote. Original poster replies. Thank you, yes, I did it very calmly. Didn't raise my voice or anything. Just asked her to leave, started collecting her daughter's things/coat, etc., and carried them to the front door. It was awkward though. Never kicked someone out of my house before. Info. It seems like your comments are painting one picture versus your original post. So I'm conflicted on how to vote. BC, you say what she said is different and more colorful than what you quoted her as saying? So what is it? What are all the comments and the final nail in the coffin that lead you to make her leave your house? Original poster replies. I can see what you mean. There was basically a series of little comments about different things as everything came out to the table: the rice, no garlic, the peas, in the microwave, the chicken, not basted well enough. Then when she said if you weren't my friend I would just get up, take my daughter, leave and eat somewhere else. Original poster replies. That's when I told her to leave. Ask your wife if you're the butthole. You're the one that kicked her friend out and, I assume, put her into an awkward position with the school run. I'm leaning more towards you're the butthole because I assume you're looking for a communal judgment to show your wife why she shouldn't be mad at you. Or, you're 14 with an overactive imagination. Not the butthole. I think you are awesome. Way to go sticking up for your wife. The rudeness was theirs. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.